Well, hello, and a very warm welcome back to the Andrew Eborn Show with me, Andrew Eborn. And it's time for another visit to ER, the Eborn and Read Corner, with the wonderful Radio Laureate Mike Read. How are we doing, Mike?
I'm very good. Have you been in your wardrobe changing, Andrew?
You know me, in and out, change 5 times a day. That's how it works. It's always a thrill.
You have a wardrobe and a dresser, makeup. You know, we just come on here just as we are. It's extraordinary.
Well, I've started a campaign, Mike Read. I've started a campaign to save up buttons for your shirt.
So yeah, there is one missing just here.
Yes. And it's good, isn't it? It's rather good.
Yeah, there is one missing, yeah.
And it's about time. We've got comic relief and you've done your pointless thing raising money for charity. I'm going to raise money for Mike Read's shirt. It's going to be good.
I do have shirts with buttons on. There are plenty, but this one I noticed this morning. But
I thought it was rather good. I thought this was like your Elvis Presley mode. This is the moment they're always going to talk about when Elvis was first on the Ed Sullivan Show, gyrating his hips. This would be the moment they talk about, the moment that Mike Read was buttonless.
Absolutely. And you know, the Ed Sullivan Show, Ed Sullivan was studiously dispassionate. He'd stand there with his arms and go, "A young lad now, his name is Elvis Presley. I think you're going to like him." You know, he really seemed so distant from everything that was going on. But there was one show, and it was a time that Elvis was on. There was one show that he couldn't do. He'd had rather a bad car accident and was in hospital. And they roped somebody else in.
Charles Lawton it was.
Charles Lawton. Somebody born at the end of the 1800s introducing Elvis. It's quite extraordinary, really, when you think about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was also the biggest audience they'd ever had. I was like, what, 17 million or something crazy. So huge for Elvis. And Elvis was on a few months after that as well, wasn't he? And I think Susie Quattro tells the story that she was 6 at the time, and all of a sudden she saw Elvis, and that's what made her decide she wanted to be a performer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it did with a lot of people. You know, Cliff heard Elvis coming through somebody's car window on the radio and thought, "What's that?" But the amazing byproduct, of course, of Elvis being on the Ed Sullivan Show and the Beatles being on the Ed Sullivan Show was that crime plummeted across all the cities at the time. The crime wave just went zoom because everyone was in watching Elvis or the Beatles.
You see. So today, this will be the moment when Mike Read, with his shirtless, buttonless shirt, he'll love all of this. And we've been talking
about the crime wave rocketed that day. Everyone thought, "Oh no, let's go and steal something instead of listening to him."
Absolutely, always a thrill. Well, we've been celebrating toast today, National Toast Day. I love all that, which I think was Tiptree. It's always some sort of commercial angle, isn't it? Tiptree, those wonderful jam people, in 2014 thought we should have a toast day.
Yeah, I'm sure most of these national days are thought up by somebody for purely commercial reasons. I'm surprised, really. I mean, why not? But then again, of course, if a jam company or a confiture or a company dream it up, then they've got other competition because everyone else will jump on board as well. Especially the bread companies, more than the jam companies, I think, because not everyone puts jam on their toast, do they? Really?
Well, I suppose that's right. But how do you like your toast?
Gentleman's relish.
Love it. And how far do you turn the dial on the toaster?
It's very difficult because toasters have their own mind, as we know. You can turn it to one, you think that's perfect. You put different toast in and it burns it a little bit. There's a certain type of bread without which I really bored myself then. A certain type of bread I buy, it goes a bit black around the edges than other bread. And you think, why is that? I don't know. Toasters are evil things. Best to get a toasting fork and stick it in front of the fire.
Oh, that's the way to do it, isn't it? Rather like Darth Vader and have it on the dark side. I think it's always got to be good. But what I love about it, there's always a little bit of toast which is stuck at the bottom. I don't know about you, but I'm always setting off our fire alarm with my toast because there's that little bit of the crumbs at the bottom of the tray which are not quite let out.
Yeah. The most unsatisfactory toaster was we had an Aga, and I used to put it on the Aga and pull the whole thing down and try and do it. But it was never very good. It never got very crispy. And we had a Swedish cook, and she was always, "Oh, who's been doing the?" And also, of course, I used to experiment as a kid. You do, and I put sugar on there because, oh look, it makes it go brown and sticky. That's fun. I'll do it again. What's been going on here? Because I never owned up.
Always the way. Well, to celebrate toast, we've got the Radio Laureate has penned a few words. Here they are.
On toast. Ignore the Philistines, shout them down when they say toast, just bread gone a bit brown. We crumbs and all because we're indiscreet. We've degrees in toast, we're the toast elite. By electric toaster or toasting fork, spread with Lurpak, Anchor, Kerrygold or Stork, buttered toast can be embellished with Marmite, Vegemite or gentleman's relish. Lay it on thick, go on, be a man, use up the whole jar of apricot jam. And what brings a gourmet to his knees? It's a slice of toast with melted cheese. With a little dash of Worcester sauce, it's a culinary tour de force. Bread's okay, but it smacks of normality. But toast, that's bread with personality. Bread's just a square-shaped lump of dough, but hot buttered toast wins best in show. And if the vicar comes for tea a lot, when you pour his Earl Grey from the Meissen pot, he says the three things he admires most are the Father, Son, and hot buttered toast.
Hey, one day you are the best thing since sliced bread, and the next you're toast. I love it. Mike Read, Radio Laureate, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Andrew.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So thank you again to the Radio Laureate Mike Read for being my very special guest yet again here on ER, Eborn and Read. If you'd like to be a guest, write to me at guests@octopustv.com. That's guests@octopustv.com. Don't forget, you can follow me at Andrew Eborn at OctopusTV, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out. Subscribe now on all of the usual platforms. But for me, for now, thank you for joining me. See you next time. Bye-bye.